What's up guys, and welcome to another Pokemon Sun and Moon Top 10, and this is going to be the Top 10 Kanto Pokemon who deserve Mega Evolutions. In my opinion, of course, this is all opinionated, so of course we can't really rule anything out. But these will be my top 10 for Kanto Pokemon that Mega Evolve in X and Y and Sun and Moon. I'm living in the past. Obviously, you guys might know I did recently a small 11-part series on sort of Kanto Mega Evolution speculation, so I went for every Kanto Pokemon that could get a Mega Evolution and speculated on, what it might be, typing, stat changes, and ability and such. So I'm going to be pulling, from those episodes, I'm going to be pulling 10, my top 10. I'll put a link to every part of it down below in the description if you guys haven't seen any of them or want to catch up or whatever. But so we're just going to jump straight in, and at number 10, we have Mega Tauros. Yes, I think Tauros getting a Mega Evolution will be mighty interesting. It's not really used at all yet. When do you see Tauros? Never, basically. So really, it would be cool to see it get a Mega Evolution. As we can see here, my typing suggestions for it were normal fighting, or normal steel. Obviously normal fighting being if it was to get really sort of bulky and muscular, and normal steel being if its horns and its face decorations became even bigger and had like a mask of steel or something along those lines. In the end, I'd probably want normal fighting, just because it would give it an extra edge, or maybe even just keep it pure normal. You don't really need to change typing always. And stat change wise, I was going for sort of a physical Pokemon, so give it loads of physical attack and a decent amount of physical defense as well. Speed, maybe a bit of a boost too, and obviously special wasn't really something you want to think about too much with Tauros. So it was just sort of full, all-out attack, basically. And the ability was either Sheer Force, I suggested, because obviously you get some more power for your move. Moxie, just roll through the opponent. Or Huge Power to give you that flat, big boost. Obviously that would depend on what the stat changes were, but those were my ideas for Mega Tauros. If you've got any ideas yourself, guys, let me know down below. And of course, let me know your top 10 Kanto Mega Evolutions, down below in the comment section. Which 10 Kanto Pokemon do you think deserve Mega Evolutions most? Moving down to number 9, we have Mega Arbok. Yes, Arbok. I would love to see an Arbok Mega Evolution. Why? Because you don't see Arbok used at all. It's hardly ever used in any sort of competitive team at all. It's probably one of the low tiers, and it's just hardly ever used because there's no benefits to it. Having my type suggestions here were Poison Fire, thanks to its design here, Poison Dark, or even Poison Dragon. I feel like a Poison Dragon typing for Mega Arbok would be awesome to see. And we've had like a Poison Dragon in Dragolg, if I remember correctly, but it really wasn't that spectacular. So I feel like getting Arbok and giving it like a draconic appearance and having a Poison Dragon type would be really, really cool. Stat changes I went for like full offensive basically, so just to give Arbok loads of power. And sort of not, because obviously, it's just looking to do loads of damage as this Mega Evolution here. It's not really looking for defensive such. And abilities, I suggested either Shed Skin, which is just one of its normal abilities to carry across, either Adaptability, which would give it, sort of boosts on either, Poison and then any other secondary typing it had, or the other one I suggested was Poison Touch, which obviously has a chance to poison the opponent if you attack them with a physical attack. So that was, the case of your strategy is just to attack the opponent over and over and over, do loads of damage, because you don't really want to sit around not doing anything basically, and obviously Poison Touch would give you a bit of extra sort of luck there. Then moving on to number 8, we have Mega Dragonite. Yes, as cool as it would be to see Mega Dragonite and see a Dragonite Mega Evolution, it's not really a Pokemon that needs it too much. However, it would be cool to see one. The two types I suggested here were either Dragonfly or Dragon Water, since the Dragonite, the Dratini, Dragonair and Dragonite line have some ties to water. And the stat change I suggested here was to carry on being a physical attacker as well as being pretty specially defensive. The abilities I suggested were either Multi-Scale to carry across the space, just hidden ability, Adaptability for some raw power boosts, or Drizzle, which I kind of prefer, just to give it, if it was to become a Dragon Water type, Drizzle would give it some sort of strategy to it almost. But as I said, Dragonite doesn't really need a Mega Evolution. It would be cool to see one, since obviously Garchomp got one, so it wouldn't only make sense for all these pseudo legendaries to get one. But Dragonite isn't in the spot where it needs one, like Arbok and Tauros are. So even though Arbok and Tauros are sort of higher up the list, or lower down the list, as you could say, Dragonite would be cool to see, I guess. Then at number 7, I'm going to try and remember which number we're at, we have Mega Weezing. Mega Weezing, I feel like that would be really cool. This is the first defensive Mega Evolution we're looking at in this top 10. Either Poison type or a Poison Fire type, as per this design. I would love to see a Poison Fire type Mega Weezing. It would fit it better than a Poison Fire type for Arbok. And stat changes, as you can see here, are just all out defensive and a lower speed. The ability, obviously though, I've kept at levitate, especially if it becomes a poison fire type. You do not want it to lose levitate, because otherwise you have a 4 times weakness to poison, to ground type moves, and that's just something you don't want to have. Let it keep levitate, let it gain some nice defensive power boosts. Obviously, levitate means it doesn't have one of its core weaknesses, which is pretty good. Get some raw defensive power boosts so it can take loads of attacks and be a pretty defensive Pokemon. I mean, Weezing is pretty cool to use anyway. It can be pretty defensive. Give it Black Sludge for example, and it can be defensive as well as being slightly offensive. But Mega Weezing would be awesome to see in that regard as well. Then, moving down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we have Mega Marowak. Yes, Marowak. Again, not a Pokemon you see used too much because it needs an extra bonus or a boost to be used, to be viable competitively in a higher tier. And a Mega Marowak would be pretty cool for that. I mean, I can't really see a Marowak Mega Evolution, a Marowak normal evolution, so Mega Evolution would be pretty cool, pretty cool and awesome for it as well. And the typing I would most like to see for that is Ground Ghost, since obviously we had the Marowak and the Ghost and Cubone Mother from Generation 1. A Ground Ghost would be a very nice callback to that. And you can see a stat change wise here, we've gone for sort of physical attack, physical defense, as well as a drop in speed, thanks to this big bone it has to carry around, this extra bone armor, I guess. And the ability, probably Rock Head is going to be the best one for it if it ever gets Head Smash. If it gets Head Smash, Rock Head's going to be brilliant since you have no recoil. But Technician would also work fairly well for Bone Meringue, and Huge Power would again just be a sort of a flat attack boost, which again would be pretty good. It's going to power you up some more. So any of those abilities really would be pretty interesting to see. But in the end, if it gets Head Smash, Rock Head would be awesome to see. I mean, it's not going to get stab, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. Then if we move on to number 5, we have Mega Lapras. Yes, Lapras here. I would love to see Lapras Mega Evolution, because again, it's more used in higher tiers, but it's not used as much. Giving it a Mega Evolution though, power up its stats, it doesn't need a type change. Just power up its sort of main stats, which is special attack and special defense, to sort of give it a bit more bulk, as well as giving it some more offensive abilities, and change its ability around. I mean, the 3 here are all weather based. Hydration being, restores stat, heals your status afflictions in rain. Ice Body heals your health points in hail, or Drizzle causes it to rain. You could even throw in Snow Warning there if you were to give Mega Lapras a really sort of like icy design. Any of those will work really, and I feel like a weather type ability would work best for Lapras. It would fit in pretty well actually. I would not prefer Hydration. Hydration is not not amazing one. Or Ice Body, since that sort of relies on you having a hail up anyway. So Drizzle or a Snow Warning would be really cool to see. And just help, obviously either of those are going to help it out, because Drizzle's going to power up its water type moves, and a hail is going to mean it's going to be able to hit 100% accuracy blizzards. So either of those has been pretty good. And Mega Lapras would be just awesome to see. I'd definitely use one of those on my team, I'm telling you now. Then if we go on to number 4, we have the very first Mega Evolution I covered for Kanto, which is Mega Butterfree. Now obviously Big Beedrill got a Mega Evolution in Oras, so it's only fitting for Butterfree to get one at some point. It would only make sense, of course. The reason it's not higher up on the list though is because this is not the top 10 Pokemon that will get Mega Evolutions. This is the ones I think deserve it. I think Butterfree does deserve it, since obviously Beedrill got one, so it would only make sense for Butterfree to get one too. And the typings are suggested here were Bug Fly, Bug Psychic, or people have said in the comment section as well, Bug Fairy, which I thought was a pretty cool idea too, to sort of, I guess, counter Beedrill's Bug Poison, not really counter it, but go alongside it. Stat change wise, they went for Special Attack and Special Defense to give it sort of, that sort of bulky, but also having some decent special attack. And then ability Compound Eyes, Clear Body, or Magic Guard. Magic Guard probably worked best there in my opinion, although Compound Eyes would be pretty good as well, because you have some very nice high sort of accuracy. That's the word I'm looking for there, accuracy, just to be able to hit moves. So any of that. I mean, Clear Body even may be pretty good, but I'm not too sure. Or maybe even a new ability for it, who knows. But that's Butterfree. If we then move on to the top 3, number 3, we have Mega Golduck. I feel like Golduck would be pretty cool to see in Mega Evolution 4, because again, it's not really used much at all. Pure Water type for normal Golduck, so the Mega Evolution I was theorizing on would be would be Water Psychic, because that would, it only makes sense. It has some ties to Psychic, Psyduck, it would only make sense if Mega Evolution for Golduck were Water Psychic. And the stat changes here were a higher special attack and a higher speed as well, so it's nice and speedy, as well as being very quite, special attacking and being able to deal some damage back. So not really a defensive Pokemon, more a speedy one that can hit pretty hard in the special category. Ability wise, Swift Swim is one of its normal abilities, which was sort of harmonised with that speed boost, but then you need to rely on the water, on the rain. Storm Drain attracts water type moves in, and I think gives it a boost if it does, which would work pretty good, because obviously boost your special attack up, why not? But of course that relies on the enemy being stupid enough to hit a water type move. And the last one was Unaware, which ignores stat changes, which would kind of work best, pretty well, I don't know, work fairly well too. But any of those really would work pretty well for a Mega Golduck, unless they also wanted to give it a new ability that did something, who knows. Then, number 2, we have Mega Ninetales. This is another Mega Evolution that I theorise could possibly get, possibly happen in Sun and Moon, since it has some ties to the Sun, as in drought and stuff like that. But there are 4 types I've got here for Mega Ninetales, which are Fire, Fire Psychic, Fire Ghost, and Fire Fairy. Psychic, Ghost, and Fairy, all fairly similar types, and they could all fit in with Ninetales here. Since, Ghost would probably work the best, since its Pokédex entries have ties to ghostly, ghostly going on. But either of those would work really well, and I think any of those would be pretty good to see. But the stat changes here were a special attack and a special defense boost. Obviously, it's a special attacker, but again, special defense just to sort of harmonise the idea that it has sort of some control over the paranormal, stuff like that, just to be able to defend itself in that way. And the ability here, I had Solar Power listed, since obviously you go Drought into Solar Power, and that would really power you up a lot. Or Pixelate if it were to become a Fire Fairy type, or even Clear Body, just as any of those typings really, to be able to help you withstand stat reductions and such like that. But that is Mega Ninetales. Then we have number 1, and it's actually very similar to Ninetales. We have Mega Arcanine. This is something I've seen in the comments a load, and I feel like an Arcanine Mega Evolution could either be really good, or it could be really bad and just flop on its face in terms of both design, anything really. It could be really good or bad, whichever way they decide to do it. The typings I've suggested here are Fire and Fire Normal. The normal type simply was just so it can get Stab Extreme Speed, so it wasn't the best idea. That's the only place that Mega Arcanine sort of trips up. The typings are a bit weird. Fire Dark is also a possibility if it were to gain a dark side, basically. Or even Fire Dragon, maybe, if it were to gain some extra sort of design changes like that. But the stat changes would be the same, sort of whatever that's what I feel at least. Whatever typing it would be, which would be an attack and a speed boost, sort of carry on the theme of Arcanine hitting fairly hard and also being pretty speedy. It could also have a decent defense boost as well, since it's also good at that. And the ability, I have huge power and adaptability listed here, but I feel like the best one for Mega Arcanine would be a Fur Coat. This isn't an defensive ability; it actually doubles or halves the power of halves damage taken from physical moves, which would be pretty good. Because if you give a nice big, sort of stat boost to the physical attack and the speed, it can still run around being speedy and do a lot of damage, but Fur Coat also then basically gives you a doubles your defense, basically. Which I think I feel pretty good, because then you can still take some attacks pretty well. Obviously special you wouldn't be as sort of optimized for, but you could still take physical attacks pretty well, and that would be pretty good, because you can just have some sort of strategies behind using it and such. But those are my top 10 Kanto Pokemon who deserve Mega Evolutions in Sun and Moon. If you have a different top 10, which I'm sure you do, because, these are my opinions, everyone's got different opinions, let me know down below what the top 5, top 10, top 3, or, what Mega Evolutions from Kanto you would most like to see in Sun and Moon. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button down below. But this is going to be it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Johto Mega Evolutions will be starting fairly soon, so watch out for that. But for now, this is going to be it for me for today. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.